Manchester. We're now learning that London Mayor Sadiq Khan has stated that police presence will be stepped up at synagogues across the British capital following a suspected terror attack in Manchester. We do know that 2 people have lost their lives and 3 remain critically injured when this attack had taken place outside a synagogue in Crumpsall after a man drove into pedestrians and carried out a stabbing. Listen in to what the Mayor of London had to say.
At this time of year when Jewish people across the world are commemorating Yom Kippur, it's incredibly worrying. We've seen this awful attack on a synagogue in Manchester. I've been in contact with the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, with the Home Secretary and with the police. The police service will be stepping up high visibility policing in and around synagogues in London. I know, as it is, Jewish people have been scared and feeling scared over the last few months, indeed since October the 7th, 2023. I also know many want to go to the synagogue and worship. I want to reassure them that in London they will be seeing additional police officers. People should be allowed to go about and practice their faith, knowing they're going to be safe. Unfortunately, too many Jewish Londoners, Jewish people across the country, Jewish people across the globe don't feel that way, and that's heartbreaking.
Earlier, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer too highlighted that security is being boosted at synagogues across Britain. Authorities are meanwhile urging the public to avoid the area as investigation into the tragedy continues. Meanwhile, the Israeli embassy in London has stated that it condemns the attack carried out in Manchester. King Charles III has also reacted, stating that he has been deeply saddened and shocked to learn of this horrific attack. With us on the broadcast is Mr. Robinder Sachdev, International Affairs expert, joining us from New Delhi. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. At the outset, I would like to ask you, are we seeing a concerning pattern of places of worship being targeted, particularly synagogues in recent years? We've seen similar instances in the United States as well, where Jewish people have been targeted in Boulder, in Colorado, in Los Angeles, in Washington, D.C. as well. And if so, what's driving this pattern?
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be with you. Yes, certainly it seems to be a pattern, a trend, a growing pattern, a growing trend, unfortunately, across the world. And in each of these countries, we are seeing even in the United States, we are seeing in the UK, we are seeing in France, other countries also, particularly wherein the targets could be the Jewish communities or synagogues or their places of worship. I mean, on the one hand, if we say that what could be the cause of it, one obvious which seems is that the situation in the Middle East regarding the Palestinians, I would think perhaps that would be one overall cause, or it could be further accentuated by the situations in Gaza. So there could be folks, who are out to take a revenge, which they think towards the Jewish community. So that could be one. We are profiling, unfortunately, but that could be so. But on the other hand, don't forget that there could be also, especially in the US, we have seen far-right groups which are being aggressive towards the Jewish community, right? So it's a bunch of such developments. Whatever it be, bottom line, there is hate spreading, and it's not only hate, it's violence, which is resulting from that hate, and that is something which should be absolutely not only condemned, is no word for it, it should be stopped.
Indeed, sir. And in your assessment, what role does public discourse, especially online, play in fueling, escalating these kind of tensions?
Oh, absolutely. You've touched upon, I think, a very, very pragmatic point that social media and discourse, online discourse, definitely, I think it accentuates this. It creates, because you see, people can easily fall into silos. Okay, there can be groups of like-minded people who are extreme one way or the other, and the world that they create, they think about, is only that world, and they become convinced that this is the world because there's so many, or around them who think likewise, maybe hating one community or the other, right? Or promoting, talking, if not violence, but flirting with violence or flirting with the idea of, violence. So social media, so one, it does that. It, it solidifies or reinforces the ideas of those who are, already tilting towards radicalism and hate towards other communities. That's one. Second, it also creates then larger differences and chasms between such groups online. You have online hate groups hating each other, right? Also, it also becomes a recruiting ground. It becomes a recruiting ground, firstly, of the, those who are soft supporters, and from those then emerge a pipeline, some of whom get radicalized further, and then some of them who do become and take up arms or acts of violence. So social media, without doubt, social discourse, without doubt, accentuates and helps promote hate and hate crimes and violence in our societies worldwide.
All right, sir. I'd like to ask one final question. We do know that Keir Starmer is in Copenhagen. He's going to be cutting short his meeting with the EU leaders. He's going to be heading back to the United Kingdom to chair a COBRA meeting with senior government officials, other key figures as well. These kind of meetings are usually chaired during a national emergency. Code Plato has also been declared as well. Now, in your assessment, what actions should the Starmer government take to address growing fears within the Jewish minority community in the UK?
See, there are a couple of things. Obviously, I mean, one of the obvious steps is that, step up intelligence gathering, right? Grassroots and local intelligence more, right? Look out more for signals on social media. So does that mean more tracking and, tracking of social media to see, what's happening, radical groups and all, groups on the dark web, etc. More policing. I mean, these are a bunch of things, more community and engagement, no doubt also, right, etc. would be happening, but much more. At the same time, you see, it would give Israel the a rhetoric to claim and tell Starmer and the UK that, look here, this is what you're doing. By recognizing the Palestinian states, you're giving a boost to the anti-Jewish elements in your country. That's what Israel has been claiming, that the countries who are, recognizing the state of Palestine, in fact, what they're doing is that they are succumbing to, the narrative, and therefore the Palestinian or Arab origin communities in these countries would get further emboldened to act against Jews. That would be the criticism coming to Starmer from Israel. I can very well anticipate that.
All right, so I request you to stay on with us as we're tracking further updates.